All righty. Hi, everyone. Oh, you said it's loading. I thought you said it's loaded. Oh my God, we're hearing about the chunk on live. We're live. We're live. Okay. All righty. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, November 14th, 2024, and the time is 4:19 p.m. And I am calling the Board of Estimate and Contract meeting to order. Can you please call the roll? And then I guess after that, we can do the bid opening.
I gotta read the notes. Comptroller Morton,
Present.
Council President Gleason,
Present.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Present and accountable.
You have a.
Thank you, Jesus. Yeah. Okay, you can proceed with the announcement.
All right. Thank you. This meeting is for the Mount Vernon Board of Estimates, which will include the following: the opening of request proposal for a gun range renovation and any and other business. I'm gonna proceed. The gun range renovation bid was advertised in the Journal News and on BidNet on August 20th, 2024, and closed on BidNet on October 22nd, 2024.
How many times was it advertised in Lowell?
Once.
Does that fit the requirement? Yeah.
We don't have anything on the chart or anything written stating the amount of times that it has to be in on the Journal News, just that it has to be.
Because that held up a bid before that we only advertised at once.
And it was like a collective decision, but we don't have anything
Okay.
in the book saying.
Fair enough.
Times, just that it has to be noticed.
Thank you for the research.
Welcome.
You. All righty. So
Right. Inveris Training Solutions, Inc. The address is 296 Brogdon Road, Suwanee, Georgia, 30024. The total fixed price is $149,971.78.
how much spending?
$149,971.78.
Did they do a bid deposit? Is bid deposit required? Just
Might be a bit blunt since.
Usually the bid ones.
No deposit.
front if it's there.
We only received one.
We can share that. WNPD.
Was that the existing company that was maintaining it prior?
Not sure.
I'm just curious.
Wasn't that encumbered through ARPA?
Initially put in
And then we took it out and then we went back to make sure it was eligible and it was. So is it still encumbered in ARPA? So
It's not. I'm sorry? It's not, we did not put it back. We initially removed it.
but we have what, 1,081,000 and change in ARPA line for city-owned buildings.
Correct.
And Because I know this had come before us before, we took it out, but I believe you researched it. Is it an eligible expense?
It is.
We don't have anything else allocated for that 1 million, whatever it is? Or is that all, so is enough room in that budget line for that?
There's enough room in the budget line for that, we haven't, allocated anything against that 1 million as of yet.
We're waiting to get the environetics, so we have the balance of that, and then we have, the 700,000 from the ban for the roof. So we will still have about 1.6 million to look at for PD through ARPA and ban, and and the roof here. So.
So now, just to be clear, right? That, anything in that line has to be contracted in the next 5 weeks,
Mhm.
right? And anything in there, anything being proposed for that line has to go out for bid, or everything has been already out for bid or RFP? Because otherwise, you may not have enough time.
We're working on that, right? The environetics report we're expecting in by Friday. And we have to see what the conditions are, because we know that the roof at the court and the police department have been leaking and causing other challenges to the HVAC over there as well. So
Okay.
we are pushing it. And that's why the environetics reports will help. Because it will be they'll be doing the reports, and they were putting in the cost estimations, which will help us to do any type of bid. Okay. All right. Go forward with the regular agenda.
Okay, excuse me. Under resolutions approving ordinances, number 1, Department of Management Services, an ordinance authorizing the award of a contract for the audiovisual AV upgrade project to Justice AV Solutions, Inc. for City Council Chambers, City Council Committee Room, and the Memorial Room.
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
So on the question, can you give me some detail around description of what all of this entails for $204,000?
I'm sorry.
Commissioner Perez, you want to come to the table?
The proposal is for multiple displays in the city council chambers, display in the committee room, and then upgrades to the memorial room, including audio as well as updating the displays.
What does displays mean?
Meaning the television monitors. So they would be setting them up in such a way that the audience would have more ability to see what's being presented, as well as the city council. So we would be adding monitors to the spaces.
And how does this new setup now integrate with whatever it is that's going to be the platform for live streaming?
It would make it easier to integrate into the existing platforms. Our current environment was not meant to be permanent. The equipment that we have there was really meant to be mobile for the communications department. It was installed, and because we had nothing else, it's something that we've continued to use. So the equipment and the setup, we specifically requested ease of integration into mobile media, anything that we need to plug into the environment.
And what's the plan for that, I guess? So what is the plan for how the things that are happening in the chambers, I guess not so much, well, I guess you might, if the council is having committee meetings that also have to be live streamed in the committee room. And also, so walk me through how what we're purchasing now is also going to be able to improve kind of functionality of meeting the requirements for virtual meeting?
All of the equipment is tailored to work with systems like Zoom and the other multimedia environments that we look to connect to. And the upgraded equipment would allow us to obviously host multiple locations, as well as being able to stream from one location to the other rooms to function as overflow locations as well.
Okay, so there's plugins basically into that.
Yes.
And so the audio. And so the audio includes what? I guess are we swapping out?
We will be
Yes.
swapping out the existing temporary devices. We would be upgrading the microphones, upgrading the audio in the room to account for the echoing, and just making the overall audio experience better, as well as making sure that the audio pickup is able to be caught so live streaming or presumed.
Right, that was one of my major, that oftentimes, because here, for example, so what are we doing also about for the mayor's conference room to make sure that the same quality for live streaming, that your standard meetings are also here too, from the standpoint of Board of Estimates and other boards, right? So equally, because the way we have the set we have right now, I know temporary, whatever it might have been, but it really irks me.
Yeah, because
I need
the
to say,
audio in both places is awful.
Right.
So,
So, anyway, so do we have a plan with?
The upgrading the audio in this room was not part of it. However, we could bring some of that audio technology into the space. I believe that the camera system is sufficient for the room. We can always upgrade, but it is sufficient for the room. We could just potentially add upgrades to the audio components.
Okay.
or we could switch rooms. We have.
Please, I don't, 5K, I'm good. All we need to do is enhance audio. I mean.
Enhanced audio, I agree.
Technology changes so quickly. And
Yes,
so, from my budget, I don't want to invest that level for technology that's going to change in a year or 2 years. Anyway, so, I'm fine. We could just add in here some more
Yeah, the audio.
mics.
It's for this room, I would think we would just need to add additional microphones to be able to connect to different
That's
locations.
probably like 3. Okay, and those are plugins. Okay. Roll call.
Comptroller Morton,
I,
Council President Gleason,
I,
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number 2, Department of Management Services, an ordinance to award a contract for VoIP phone system to Spectrum and enter into a contract.
so moved.
second,
On the question?
same question.
Technology line.
Yes, sir.
So what is it? So what are we doing?
This is to upgrade our existing phones to a new voice over IP service
Citywide?
citywide.
Okay, and how does that enhance, I guess, what we're doing?
It will give us additional functionality. We are currently out of contract with our current provider. This will move services to the cloud, utilizing RingCentral technologies. So it would give us the ability to do plugins, enhancements, anything that the service provides to the general public, things like artificial intelligence. One of the things we're currently using in buildings is the ability to record phone lines and store that in the cloud, as well as any additional plugins that we can bring to the environment. In addition, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
In addition, because it is a cloud-based solution, we will be able to use our computers, our cell phones as phone devices. So you will be able to carry your extension with you no matter where you are and you choose to.
Okay. I'm glad you talked about this recording of the lines.
That is optional. You decide whether you want that on a particular line.
You gotta pick up the phone in order for somebody to record it. Every time I call a particular department, all I ever get is a voicemail. I never get a live person. No matter what time of day.
That's
I call.
Drink.
And I thought we upgraded their system so that somebody could pick up the phone. So I was
And
gonna
the
ask you, can this system?
And the
pick up
other
the
thing
phone?
that's great
The-
is the system is able to look at unanswered calls. It's able to track and give data and statistics on what lines are not being answered. And, yeah, so you could speak
Okay.
more to that because.
I'm glad you said that, because I was gonna ask that question too,
Absolutely.
right? Like, okay.
'Cause that's one of
according to
the things that I asked
Who's
about.
looking at this data?
Mhm.
Yes, to your point, Dr. Morton, the system is currently, we implemented a portion of the system in the buildings department. So the buildings department is currently using One Central. And that does give them the ability to track metrics on calls, see who's picking up, who's not picking up. And their management does have the ability to get that information. That is part of the package that we have.
I would love to see those metrics.
Yeah.
So we would be implementing this citywide with the exception of 911 services. That is not included.
Okay. All right, I mean, I asked the question and I'm being a little facetious there, but I was just asking the question because yeah, I don't want us to do all of this, upgrade all the systems and we don't.
For naught.
And we don't really use the functionalities of them, inclusive of getting the data and looking at it to make sure, right? Big Brother needs to be watching
Yeah.
to make sure that folks understand and know that this is what we are paying. We're paying the top amount of the dollar to do this. We need to make sure we're using every bit of the functionality we possibly can. So, all right, thank you.
Can I proceed?
No, I was just looking.
He's reading.
So the initial cost is being covered by ARPA and then the recurring costs will just go back into the budget line that we've been using. Okay.
And also the cost is not all at once. They will not bill us, they're gonna bill us piecemeal as we implement normal. And so not implementing everything at once.
Okay.
Wait a minute, reoccurring cost of. Right? 480
$8,156.50 a month.
a month.
Yes. Over 60 months, 489.
Thank you for the 60. It didn't, I was like, what? That don't add up. The math ain't math. Thank you. All right.
You're welcome. First, the initial hardware purchase is $50,355. So that's the upfront.
And this is being paid, out of the whole,
The hardware purchase.
okay. Just the 57.
Monthly fees will go into the telephone line as we mission to other telephone services.
Got it.
Roll call?
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howie.
Aye.
Number 3, Department of Public Works and ordinance authorizing
Can
the.
I make a motion to take 3 and 4
It's a block.
as a block, I think?
Second.
I guess we could take 5 too. 3, 4, and 5.
I second.
Roll call?
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howie.
Aye.
Okay, I'm gonna read 3, 4, and 5. Department of Public Works and ordinance authorizing the mayor to retroactively enter into an emergency contractual agreement with PCI's Industries, Inc. for immediate sanitary and stormwater sewer repair at Fifth Avenue and Third Street. Number 4, Department of Public Works and ordinance authorizing the mayor to retroactively enter into an emergency contractual agreement with PCI's Industries, Inc. for sanitary and stormwater sewer repairs at multiple locations. And number 5, Department of Public Works, an ordinance to Authorize the mayor to amend the agreement with National Water Main Cleaning Company for the cleaning and inspection of sewer systems within outfall 24 drainage area, project 122022-1.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howe.
Aye.
Number 6, Department of Recreation, an ordinance authorizing the Department of Recreation to co-sponsor the fifth annual Turkey Trot 5K Run/Walk and authorizing assistance from the Department of Public Works and the Department of Public Safety.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number 7, Fire Department, an ordinance authorizing the renaming of Firehouse Station Number 2 at 435 South Fulton Avenue in honor of Fire Lieutenant Joseph L. Miles Sr.
I overwhelmingly so move.
Second.
On the question?
On the question, there was a reference to a budget line and it's associated with recreation. What does that mean? Keep it out.
States that the necessary funds for signage, plaques.
And yeah, I'm just trying to understand why it would come out of recreation.
It doesn't say that, I'm sorry.
It doesn't.
It just says recreation.
Yeah, it
It doesn't
doesn't
say the code itself.
Have a code.
Alright, just note, that's really DPW's parts. Probably because somebody thought parks,
Yeah.
parks is typically recreation. Mount Vernon is DPW.
Just, for the record, wanted to say, that Mr. Miles, was the third Black firefighter hired by the Fire Department of Mount Vernon in 1963. He served 25 years in the department. He was one of the founders of the Vulcan Society of Westchester, which is kind of the organization that supports the Black firefighters throughout the county. He also was very instrumental in assuring that as Black firefighters and firefighters of color came into the department, that they also were exposed to EDI, which many go down to Maryland to participate in, which is an executive development institute. And as our firefighters became involved in EDI, that prepared them for leadership within the fire department. And so you saw people moving into the ranks of sergeant, of lieutenant, of captain, deputy chief, and chief of operations, and definitely contributed to the diversity of the department among all the ranks, because we have increasing numbers of firefighters here in Westchester who are of color, but most firefighting departments in Westchester lack equitable numbers of leadership in the ranks of the department. And so, this is one of the reasons why this was overwhelmingly supported by some of the firefighters and those who have benefited to become chiefs and deputy chiefs and captains and lieutenants and sergeants. And I know just this year, we had a whole class of people go down to EDI. And again, this all kind of really stemmed from his involvement in the fire department of Mount Vernon.
Yeah, he was definitely a trailblazer and often did this on his own without a lot of support. So this is very important to recognize Lieutenant Miles.
And, this is also a great time to do it as we invest physically into the capital improvements of our firehouses. I know this would also kind of please him as to what we're doing. The family is anticipating coming up for this ceremony as it is scheduled. So, roll call.
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Absolutely aye.
Do we have a date on when that's gonna be done?
We do not,
Okay,
we do not yet. Because we wanted to make sure everything passed.
I got you.
So,
I don't wanna miss it.
Number 8, Department of Management Services, an ordinance authorizing the technology upgrade for the fire department.
So moved.
Second,
on the question?
come on back.
Come on back.
You know,
We can tell he's been very busy.
it's the beard. It's the beard. It's the beard.
Yeah, I'm not used
He
to
said everyone else around here has a beard. I want a beard.
no shave November.
No, he was looking at all the beards in the building.
I got jealous.
Got jealous. So
Yes, sir.
beard.
So what's the, what we doing?
This is to move the existing red alert system into the cloud. So we're looking for to utilize the cloud solution for red alert, which will give them the ability to access the red alert system from anywhere, as well as utilizing the inspection module that comes with the system. We could not do it with the on-premises solution for the red alert portion. Also, with the voice recording system, it is currently very antiquated and in need of serious upgrade. So we went out to Eventide and took a look at their system. It's a combination of cloud as well as on-premises hardware to allow for the voice recording for the 911 calls. And in the contract, I made sure that we got a 3-year support agreement 24/7 for them on that.
That is key.
So. Mr. Hamilton. So this is, R? Yes.
54,865 is our. It's only a portion.
This is for their comm system?
No, this is for the red alert system that they currently have, but cloud-based, and for the recording portion of the 911 call.
Which technically is part of the communication system for.
But not the radios.
Hmm?
It's not the radios, it's not the
Yeah.
point-to-point radios.
No, the only reason I was asking, I mean, is there a reason why we didn't take this out of the ban for fire?
They probably still
Calm.
need all of those point-to-point radios too.
Right? Okay, I mean, I didn't know if the ARC money was kind of being stretched in the sense of that there's other priorities that it could come from there rather than, right, but we can, if need be, we can figure that out later, but okay, thank you.
So we'll vote on it now.
Yeah,
If we
that
see
they
that
need to
there's a
transfer
need
it.
for a change or to
Transfer.
transfer it over to ban, we'll bring it back for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Roll call?
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye. I just wanted to say, I should have said this on the question, but I'm excited that we are updating our red alert system. At one time, we felt like it wasn't communicating with us and contacting us. On the contrary, it was just that we were down fires that would cause red alert to have to kick a message to us. So, that's a good thing. But, the red alert system is very, very helpful in that if something is a escalated fire, it allows all of us to know at the same time so that we can be aware. And I think, I don't know, the police department, I'm not sure what we're using, but I think it would be great if we had something similar for PD. If there's a shooting, right? If there is something of a very serious nature in PD right now, the only way that we get notice is kind of a text that comes from the commissioner or the chief, and then we share it from there. So there kind of is an emergency notification system of an escalated incident that comes from PD, but that might be something that we look at to cover under EOC, because there is still funding in EOC for, that's all emergency notifications. Worst come to worst. Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Number 9, City Council, an ordinance amending the vehicle and traffic regulations for commercial vehicles in chapter 256, section 11 and 23 of the Code of the City of Mount Vernon.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? Well, I know when we first put the resolution, it started working and I see some of the traffic vehicles have tried to creep back out. So I know we're putting up more signage too, correct? Right, okay, perfect. Thank you. This is good. So it's all about safety. Roll call?
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number 10, City Council, an ordinance amending chapter 243-29 entitled Maximum Fees for Towing and Storage.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call?
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number 11, Department of Assessment, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute an application for correction for the tax years 2023 and 2024 for city, county, and school tax bills, and directing the comptroller to issue a refund/credit to Metro Green Realty of Westchester LLC, 0 Oak Street, Block 164-68, .68-1055-19 due to a correctional error.
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
I just have a question for Corporation Counsel. I can vote on this on behalf of the council, but I do business with this person. Should I recuse?
You just disclose, you
Okay.
disclose your conflict, you're fine.
Okay.
Any way you want.
So Metro Green happens to be a customer of the company that I work for. So, but my vote is on behalf of the city council's majority.
And like you said, you abstained.
Yeah, I
You voted
abstained.
yourself on the
I
council, but
abstained,
now
yeah.
you're voting the will of the council.
Yeah.
All right, roll call?
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number 12, City Council, an ordinance authorizing the establishment of custodial accounts for the management of funds related to specific development projects.
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
So what's the next step with this? So what? Okay. So we're going to, I guess, is there a requirement of how much they have to deposit or the initial deposit on that?
No, there was no requirement. This is something new that we're doing because some of these projects have not actually put the applications in. But what they have been speaking to the attorneys about the possibilities on, you know, what to bring to the city before an application is actually made. Because what had been happening in the past, they put an application in and they might have spent a bunch of their own money. And then projects would, you know, not go forward. Now, at least we're engaging our attorneys, their attorneys, and the planning department so that we all start off on a good foot together to see if these are projects, and they have to pay the attorney's fees on our end for it. So the recommendation from the comptroller's office was to make custodial accounts.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to determine an amount? I don't know how.
Well, no, I don't know, but I was asking that. Yeah, I was asking because I don't know what the transactions are specifically going to be. I mean, we don't know. But initially, in order for us to open up the account anyway, we need
Deposit.
some amount to open up the account. We can't open an account with no money, right, on it. So, I mean, that's why I was just saying, once, I was asking, was there a particular amount to initially kind of open it? If not, you just got to establish that. That's all.
Yeah, right, I
Yeah.
mean, you'll have the accounts established, it's just giving the authorization to do so. You don't have to do so until it starts moving.
And so I just want to read section 2 of this, you know, because there's been questions and emails. Section 2, conditions for fund management. Funds within each custodial account shall remain in holding until 1, developers have completed all the required presentations to the city council. 2, necessary applications have been submitted in accordance with city guidelines. 3, reimbursement for attorney fees associated with each development has been arranged and documented. Of course, this will be administered by the Comptroller's Office, as it says in section 3. And so this is a very preliminary step, like we said, in making it easier to do business with the city and not kind of bouncing around, as you said, Council President Gleason, oftentimes, people have gone to different boards first and then it gets to the council and then, so we're trying to make the process one, whereas we streamline the process and then also prevent people from spending so much far ahead of time, right? Because we need to, instead of having them spend $1 million on architectural and shadow studies, we're having conversations to see if these are the right projects for the city, period, before even having them go through those next steps of process, which I think the developers appreciate. And then it makes it easier to say this doesn't work, right? It is, as opposed to someone's put several $1 million in and they're trying to push things forward, but
And it might be a developer that does not like what the city is wanting and requiring.
right.
So gives them an opportunity to
So-
pull out before so much
Well, actually,
investment is made.
It's a step more toward transparency and efficiency, right?
Absolutely.
Before we weren't, the escrow accounts were sporadic and all over the place, city clerk's office, comptroller, it was a mess. So this is
Yeah, and I think one of the best parts about this, especially if it's a project that will eventually come to council, is that we have our attorney, we have their attorney, we have the developer, and we have the planning department all involved from step one, which hasn't always been the case, but it seems to be working better this way, so that people are not going to the planning board and then it's like, wait a minute, now your hands are tied because you went to zoning, they decided something, and now, or vice versa, so.
And so just so we're clear, so everybody understands it, because there's always this notion around escrow accounts. And there has been a change in Gatsby around what is classified as a escrow, right, account versus what is considered, and the terminology around what is considered to be custodial. And the reason why the council is directed by my office to actually write a letter to establish it, because the authorization has to be given by the legislative body as per the charter as to the comptroller creating any accounts. And 2, by rule of the Gatsby rules, that we have regulations that we have to carry those accounts as they are reported as part of also like the general fund as special accounts, which is why on the quarterly report in the back of the quarterly report, you also have a listing of the custodial accounts that in some years past were considered to be escrow accounts, and the transactions that occur with those. The requirements for expenditures are those that are determined by the legislation, which is why there needed to be the legislation, right, as to what is an eligible expense to that. So my office will look to make sure that it is related to things that are outlined in the actual legislation itself. At any point in time, should the project itself get to a different phase or different stage and require different things, then the council will then write an amendment to do that, to include those additional things if they are in. And it may not ever get to be that, right? I mean, that's the step process for how they're. So, right. So once I have received kind of the information around the deposit, then we'll be able to create the accounts.
Thank you very much. Roll call.
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number 13, under item held from Board of Estimates, October 15th, 2024 meeting. Number 13, Department of Public Works, an ordinance authorizing the acquisition and financing of new vehicles for the Department of Public Works fleet through a lease agreement with Leasing Services Center, Inc., DBA NCL Government Capital.
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
Okay, so,
Comptroller.
yeah, what is this?
What made us bring this back now?
It was the comptroller.
So,
It wasn't me, I didn't bring it back. Okay.
Yes.
How did I bring it back?
Huh?
I brought it back? How did I?
You
bring
held it.
Oh, I held it. Right.
I don't know who brought it back.
Right, okay. So, yeah, so we did hold it, so I guess it comes back to the next meeting, right?
Right.
I knew, but
It's now that I remembered.
I knew that it was held, like, I didn't bring it back. Right?
it comes back.
Comes back on
It comes back.
It comes back automatic. All right, so, yeah, we just will probably just need to just deny it.
Yes.
Or call for it, something, whatever it is. Because at this point in time, we found out some new kind of information, right? There were some other additional requirements that I guess the company itself was requiring of the city. They were looking for the city to actually take some additional steps similar to what we would take if we were going out to bond for this, right? Based upon after we did some additional research, which of course the department said they did not know, that was never kind of told to them. So in the investigation of it, while we also were looking for other options, that came out. So I think this says to be, this has to be voted down.
Yeah, voted
And
down.
just, and I think something will come back in shorter form, right? I guess, I don't know, because I gave another option to at least some immediate purchases that needed to be done for this, but I don't know where we are with that. So we'll find out from the department about where they are, and then if need be, it'll come back.
Okay. Roll call?
Comptroller Morton,
Nay.
Council President Gleason,
Nay?
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Nay.
Right, does not pass. Okay. Under settlements, number 14, settling the lawsuit of Michael Giles for $275,000.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, oh, I can't wait till we get to the end of some really old lawsuits, right? Because this is from
2018.
2018.
They didn't file for 2020.
This is from 2018. They didn't file till 2020, and then it takes several years for it to come. So, it hits our current budget, but, it happened in 2018. What I will say is, in 2020, when we came in and we kind of asked for some things to be done and some policies to be changed, we have changed and updated policies. And we have worked even with DOJ since then to update policies and to implement new training. And so I'm really praying that we will not see these cases come, as we're dealing with it today. So I just wanted to kind of say that on the record, but our police department has undergone extensive training and policy rewrites and upgrades over the past few years to ensure that we don't run into some of these same challenges.
Perfectly said.
I knew you were nervous.
You made me a little nervous there.
Take credit for what we've done.
That's right.
We've done some right things to correct this, right? So Yeah. Okay. Roll call?
Controller Morton,
To my chagrin,
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number,
It's gonna hit our budget.
number 15, settling the lawsuit of Israel Roman, $130,000.
So moved.
second,
Question? On the question, I will say the same comments again. Very, very glad that we've done additional training. And that we have updated policies and partnerships and oversight, and that's all I have to say. Roll call?
Controller Morton,
aye,
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number 16, settling the lawsuit of Albert Arthur, $150,000.
So moved.
second,
Oh, I mean, well, this is different. This is different, but still goes back to 2019. And it's, coming to hit the budget now. It's challenge to budgeting when you have to go back and pay things from many years ago. But again, more training. We've updated equipment and policies. And so that's it. Anything else on the question?
no, on the question, just wanna say, listen. In most of these cases. We have to at least give credit. To our law department and our big contracted. Councils for doing a yeoman's job at making sure that we are not actually paying out. What could be even more exponential amounts
Absolutely.
for these things that come before us. And yeah, the mayor talked about training, but we also have been pushing even further beyond just even training is making sure that we do a better job at kind of management and managing, right? And making sure that we're managing situations and people just like we are charged to manage tasks in a much more efficient way, kind of moving forward as best as we can. So that we don't end up having this burden based upon the budget, but two, based upon the taxpayers. In whole, I mean, we often hear the phrase, right? Like, it's the taxpayers' money.
Mhm.
Right? And that's the vigor in which these cases are fought. And when I know when the Corporation Council has to come to me, there's some counsel around whether or not, how we gonna do this and what is the best deal to kind of offer. I know that it's a burden, because I'm not easy to kind of convince, right? Until we've exhausted everything. But also what I'm not going to do is to have us kind of be there and fight a losing case. We take the best way out. So, yes. Just want to make that simple.
I appreciate that. One of the things that I want to also thank, the Quinn Law Firm for the excellent job that they do for us related to our police cases. And one of the things that should also be noted is we work very closely with them to get the excess carrier to come to the table. And at one point, they were just denying everything. And so we really pressed upon them to, be at the table. And so they're paying a portion of these cases.
And another portion is being paid by another municipality, correct?
It's one of the cases.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the other co-defendants. So we are working, that comes by working cases, not laying down when the insurance company says that they're
Absolutely.
not gonna pay. So that's, myself and, the Quinn Law Firm has been really working with the excess carriers to come to the table for us.
Thank you. All right, roll call.
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number 17, settling the claim for Sherry Brown, $4,745.22.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye. Can we take the next three
It's a block.
as a block?
Two?
Make a motion.
Two.
No, next two. Make a motion to take number 18 and 19 as a block vote.
So moved.
Second.
I'll second first.
Roll call.
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
All right, tax review settlements, number 18, settlement for RNG Equities Limited and AJ Realty Holdings LLC for $16,633.67. Number 19, settlement for 118-12 South 12th Avenue LLC for $5,513.86.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? All I just want to say is, please, we gotta find a way to bond in this next year, hopefully for a rebound. Because I think that will put the city in a much better position. Because we know the properties are much more valuable as people buy them and sell them, but they don't want to pay the taxes on them respectfully. So a rebound will help reduce this number and maintain the property value for our city. And I know that you're working on it. And get these audits done, and it will give us the capacity to go out and bond, because a revaluation is not cheap, nor is it quick. Roll call.
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
That concludes your agenda item.
There any new business?
Make a motion to adjourn.
There you go. Motion,
Second.
roll call.
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Council President Gleason,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye. Meeting